Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for watching. We are going to do a question and answer session. And yeah, we asked some of our friends to submit some questions and things, so we're just going to answer them. Number 1, what are your nationalities? Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first because I'd like to brag about what I don't look like.
Wait, since I'm less complicated, I should go first.
Okay, sure, why not? Go ahead.
So, I am Zambian. I was not born in Zambia. I was born in South Africa, but my parents are Zambian. My mom is fully Zambian. My dad is half Zambian, half Malawian. So I guess you could say I'm 75% Zambian, 25% Malawian. So that's my nationality.
Very African.
Very African.
Me, not so much. So I, for lack of a better word, I'm a mutt. I am a little bit of everything. Mostly, my mom's side is from Northern Europe, so Scandinavia, the UK, the British Isles, and my father's side is from Central America. My father's side hails from Honduras, Ratan to be exact. So yeah, I don't look it, but I am half Hispanic, and I am very white.
You came out very white.
I came out very white.
Which is fine. It happens, you know. You never know what your kid's gonna look like. Do you only date black women / white men? So like, you both answer the question.
Yeah.
Do I only date white men? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
this is the first person I've
technically.
dated. So yeah, you could say I only date white men because this is the first person I've dated, and I don't intend to date anyone else. But okay, to answer the question seriously, no, I wouldn't only date one race because there are interesting and attractive people of all races, and that's just a fact. Like, I wouldn't exclusively choose one race over another. So.
Before Naomi, I didn't. Up until now, it was mainly white women. And then I discovered what I was missing.
Yeah, so now he doesn't intend on dating anyone other black women.
Don't intend on dating anyone else. Nope, nobody.
Next question. What do your parents think? I think this is such a weird question because like,
both of our parents are kind of indifferent to it, but at the same time, like, they have their own opinions.
Yeah, like, they're just like, I mean, they don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
Like, so our parents don't really have...
they didn't, okay, they haven't said anything negative about it.
But they haven't said anything particularly positive about it either, because to them, it's just a relationship. It's just, oh, my kid is dating somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. It's like, again, largely both of our parents are more or less indifferent about it. What's there to be mad or negative about?
What is there to think except?
Anyway, moving on.
Do people stare at you in public?
Yes.
I am slightly an antisocial individual, so I try not to look at other people when I'm walking or in public at all. Like, I try not to make eye contact or anything because that's just who I am. So I don't really know if people stare at us or not, but apparently, according to him, they do. So
no, I mean, when we're out and about, when I'm not looking at her, I'm usually looking around. Like, I'm observing our surroundings, and I do notice that people give us looks, whether they be, you know, like looks of awe or looks of, I wouldn't really say disgust, but inquiry. There we go. I think that's a good word. Looks of inquiry.
There was one time. He knows what time I'm talking about. Should I say it?
It's quick. We can quick.
So we were in the Food Lion, and we're just getting some late night like groceries, and the cashier just looked so dumbfounded and offended that I dare have my arm around his arm. Like, how dare I be with this white man? And I just was like, felt so uncomfortable. I was like, I'm literally not even doing anything. I'm just holding my boyfriend's arm. Like,
I think I noticed that and like actually made it a little bit more overt too. But yeah, that was the thing. That was probably the worst moment that we've ever noticed.
And it probably won't be the worst forever. There's probably going to be worse encounters because that's just the way the world is. But we've got each other. We'll deal with it. Is it awkward to talk about race?
Before, at least for me, not being in this situation up until now, like I've never gone or talked in depth about the problems that people like Naomi face. And now being in this situation where I am dating a black woman, and she's telling me all these things that she notices that she has to deal with, frankly, it's enlightening, and it's unfortunate that she, as who she is, has to deal with these things that she has no control over. Would I say it's awkward? No. At least not with you.
It's never been, even in the beginning, in the beginning, we didn't talk about race, but then, like with the police brutality and everything, we talked about it, and, we were always on the same page of things, so I never, ever felt awkward or like I was being shut down or my opinions, being irrelevant.
Pushed to the side.
Yeah. I never ever felt that, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's a great thing because I don't think that's something that can happen with a lot of people in this political environment, so it's never been awkward for us to talk about race. We talk about it all the time.
I think that's 80% of our conversations, honestly.
Yeah, which is not a problem. It's a good thing, I think. Are there any cultural clashes?
The biggest one that I can think of is, obviously, since her family is natively African, obviously, African people and African families have much more, family-oriented traditions than I would, or than my family would. The biggest one that Naomi has told me about is the bride price. So at this point, we're not looking to get married anytime soon, but yeah, when it happens, to pay respects to her parents' culture and to her country's culture, there's what's called the bride price, or basically I have to buy Naomi off of her family with some, I don't want to say arbitrary, but with some.
It's not arbitrary. In fact, this is how they do it. The men of the family all have a meeting and sit down and talk about how much this woman who's going to be getting married in the family is worth, so to speak. I mean, there is no, my mom has acknowledged, you cannot put a price on a human life. And she's like, you are priceless. She's told me you are priceless. So, he cannot buy, she said that. But I don't know why exactly this is happening in my culture, but, the men sit down and they talk about it, and they approach the man who wants to marry this woman and say, this is how much you would have to pay, the equivalent of such and such amount of livestock, or the equivalent of such and such amount of property, or it's just what is done in my country. And so we think about that a lot, and whether we're going to honor that.
Yeah. I've thought about that a lot already, and it's kind of one of those things where it's I don't want to disrespect her parents and her culture, but at the same time, I'm not comfortable with the idea of buying my love. To be respectful, I will definitely, or ask her father for her hand, but I don't know if I'm willing to go the 100% the cultural tradition, if that makes any sense.
That's really the only cultural clash that we have, so yeah.
Yeah, because she hasn't met any of my Hispanic family yet, so.
Yet. How do you deal with haters in an interracial relationship?
We haven't had any real haters, honestly.
We haven't. I should put my phone on silent.
We haven't had anybody who's actually shared true dissent about us being together.
Nobody that we know, nobody who knows people that we know. We haven't encountered that, and I think we're really lucky.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But it's bound to happen, and I am not sure how we would deal with it, because you can't change a person's hate. If somebody decides they're going to hate something, they're going to hate it with all they've got, and they're not going to want to change. And there's nothing we can do about that. They just have to. There's nothing they can do about us, because they just have to accept that we exist.
Yeah. I mean, simply put.
So I don't know what we would do, but we'll see. We'll give you an update if we ever encounter something like that.
It'll be a story time at some point.
Story time. An interesting question. Wouldn't it be easier dating your own race? This is an interesting question to answer, considering we haven't had that many difficulties being together as an interracial couple. So, as of right now, it would be, I assume, the same amount of effort and communication and whatever as any other relationship.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to put it is a relationship is a relationship, regardless of the couple's race, ethnicity. Like, you still have to put in the same amount of effort. You still have to put in the same amount of intention. It really just depends on each partner's personalities, I'd say. And we just got lucky that our personalities mesh so well.
Do you listen to the same music?
Largely, yeah.
Yeah, we listen to the same music. We have the same favorite bands, who we could talk about for like forever. I don't know if they want to be mentioned in this, but I mean, we can talk about them.
I'm sure we can talk about them. Absolutely. Danisha, if you guys are watching this, we love you.
But they're not gonna watch it.
I mean, you know, just in case.
We have a favorite band, and they're this. I wouldn't call them small time, but they're a band from Boston, and we saw them in Philly last year.
Yeah.
We saw them in Philly last year. They're just like great guys, and their music is really. For some reason, we both are really into their music, especially their latest album, which just came out.
It just came out last
Catalyze.
Friday.
It's called Catalyze. If you want to listen to it, we'll link it in the description below, because it is fire. It does bump. It slaps.
But if you want to see us do like an album review of that, possibly. I mean, you can tell us in the comments below, or you can let us know on social media.
We may vlog the trip that we're going to see them
in August.
Yeah, so we're gonna go see them. We may vlog it.
Yeah. I would say we should.
I want to respect our friends. I should say his friends, because they're Facebook friends with him and not me. Another question. Really good question. What's a musical opinion you two disagree on? Asked by a fellow music major friend of ours.
There's one thing that I like to do that I know just annoys the living whatever out of her. So there's a chord progression called a suspension to 1. So suspensions are, depending on which way they're held, they're always supposed to go to the nearest chord. So for example, a C sus4 or a C suspension 4, which is a C underneath an F and a G. So that's where you get the sus4 from the F in the C scale. And that's supposed to go down to a C, E, G, so a 1 chord. I always like to do it a little bit differently just to annoy her. And I like to resolve it upwards. So I resolve that G up to an A to make a 4 chord. Long story short, resolve suspension chords down to a 1 and not to a 4. And you make her happy.
Correct. Do what you're supposed to do, theoretically, like musically. Do music theory! That's it! That's the tweet! Do music theory! Thank you!
Simply put, we don't have any real things that we disagree on in terms of theory or in terms of music, but I just do things to annoy her.
Well, I would say... Never mind. Just cut that out. I was gonna say, you really like extended chords and they stress me out.
Oh, I love extended chords.
Should we say that?
That's staying in.
Okay. Second to last question. Is there anything one of you does that gets on the other person's nerves?
Ooh, where do I begin?
Can you take some time? Take some time. Relax. Think about this. Think about the consequences that could come from this. Relax. I'm trying to think. Because it's not like I don't have a list either.
She never likes to get out of bed. She hates getting out of bed, even when she has something to do. Like, her alarm will go off, she'll snooze it, then it'll go off again, and she'll snooze it again, and then it'll go off again, and she'll snooze it again. And then it's like, then she has, half an hour to get out of the house. I'm like, you've got to get up. She's like, no.
I'm a tired individual.
Then get more sleep.
That's not so simple. There's a lot of things to accomplish in the day. Lasers. If there's a laser effect, we would put it in right now. My turn. What annoys me? This is my pet peeve. This is I have many pet peeves. A lot of things annoy me. The front seat of his car is never in a condition for a passenger to inhabit it. Like, there's just, like trash. Lots of trash. Like, it could be one day that passes from, I don't even understand. Why do you get all this, from where?
Basically, I don't cook for myself almost ever, even though I should, which probably explains why I weigh a couple more pounds than I do, or than I should. Yeah, I get a lot of fast food, and most of the time I'm eating in my car, either on the way to work or on the way home or something. And yeah, my front seat is a trash can. I'm a disgusting person. But she loves me.
Yeah. Last question. What inspires you individually, and what inspires you together?
It's a good question. Honestly, I haven't really thought about that much. What does inspire me? What inspires you? Oh, I know. I've got one. So, obviously being a musician and being a music student, I'm around a lot of other musicians who vary greatly in talent and specialization. So I think being in that kind of environment inspires me to get better myself, inspires me to be the best musician that I can and the best performer that I can. I have learned a lot, even just last year, about who I am on stage, what I can do on stage, the kind of things that I can do with my voice and with the instruments that I play. So I think a big inspiration for me is being around other performers who truly know what they're doing, aside from me, because I frankly don't. Yeah.
There's one specific person who inspires me to maybe pursue the path of becoming a worship pastor. I've talked to a couple people about this. I don't really feel comfortable talking about who it is because I don't really know this person, but she's friends with some of our friends, and she went to school to study music and studied worship, and I just think it's really cool because using music, not to get all religious on you non-religious people, sorry, but using music to praise whatever God you believe in is just such a cool thing to do. You're making a song to this deity that you respect. And I just think it's really cool. And it inspires me to one day perhaps pursue that. I don't know. I may not do that depending on how my career goes. I don't know. We'll see. What inspires us together?
What does inspire us together?
We could go the cheesy route and say other couples who look like us on YouTube.
I mean, that's honestly, I'd say yes to that. So cheesy route it is.
Other couples are kind of the inspiration for what caused us to start this channel, because like just seeing other people who are like us just being so happy and just sharing their lives for fun, it's like, why not do it also?
Yeah, I mean, like over the past few days, basically over the past weekend, I wouldn't say she's forced me to, but we've watched a lot of different couples on YouTube that are literally just like us, white man, black woman, that, you know, just act the way they normally would and just speak to the camera like we're doing right now. Just have a conversation with each other, just act normally. Like, there's no acting, there's no
script or teleprompter besides like the questions.
Like, they just live and they have a great time doing it, and they share their lives like nothing's going wrong.
They're just happy people, and we just kind of want to be like them. So yeah, that's what inspires us. That's it. That's the end of the video.
What a closer.
We out here. We're done.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Yeah?